What I'm about to say might come as a bit of a surprise, especially if you've seen the channel before or you know me already, but my plans have changed. Let me explain. So originally I set this channel up, called it Casting Off, because we're going to be casting off the shackles of 9 to 5 and home ownership. It's going to be pretty raw for me as well, because it's put us in a situation where we've had to do things that we really don't want to do. There's a lot of things that's going to make us quite uncomfortable that we've got to do as a result of this change, but we are, when I say we, myself and my wife, are hoping that the outcome will be put us in a position where we can actually live life on our terms completely and be completely free, or as free as you can be in the UK at the moment. So basically the upshot is we have a house, we've been here for about 20 years, we're on an interest-only mortgage. Long story about that. We had a couple of opportunities to clear the mortgage and we didn't after the COVID stuff. Our mortgage is totally unaffordable. Cost of living has gone way up. I've left a job in the bank where I was on a good income in a high street bank to try and have a simpler lifestyle, and I've been self-employed for the last 9 years and done okay, but on a much lesser income, because but also much more flexible timescales, so I can work when I want, pretty much where I want. But the income is nowhere near what I was on when I was at the bank, and in the meantime interest rates have rocketed, so our mortgage payment has quadrupled. Again, I'll go into detail on that at a later stage. The cost of living as well has just gone up. Utility bills especially has just gone up and up and up and up, and my income now is starting to go down because of competition in my workplace. So we're going to get to a point where it comes to the crunch, and so next year I turn 55. I've got a private pension that I've been self-investing in, a SIPP. I transferred from various private pensions into a SIPP with HL, Hargreaves Lansdown, and I've been self-investing in that, which again I'm going to go into more detail on the video. So what I'm hoping is that the pension it's not going to be a massive pension at all. It's not huge. In fact, it's smaller than a lot of people's pensions, because I didn't really realise how pensions all worked and how SIPPs worked until it was really a little bit too late. Only sort of 10 years ago, but never mind. We hope to have some equity in the property, so make a bit of money on the house. Coupled that with my pension, we then will sell the house. We'll sell up. We've got a lot of assets, a lot of stuff, but we're kind of asset rich and cash poor, if you like. So we're going to have to sell a lot of stuff. We're going to have to put a lot of stuff in storage while we think about what we're going to do. Then the plan was going to be living on a boat. But it just turns out it was just going to be so complicated, cold during winter, the problems around mooring fees. It was going to cost a hell of a lot with mooring and everything else. So our plans now is to get a decent tow vehicle and upgrade our caravan. We've got a towing caravan. Upgrade that, register with a relative's address after we sell the property, and everything hopefully will go well there. Get a load of stuff into storage, and then literally live life on the road for a little while we take stock and decide what we're going to do. Now, the overall plan will probably be use some money left to buy a property in France, that we may then get a visa and go and stay there permanently and live there permanently, or we might let it out as a holiday let for income, and then maybe spend the winter months there. So yeah, but quite complicated plans, and very, very different from what I'm used to, just stuck in a house kind of thing. Ideally we'd have the house, we'd keep the house until we die, but that's just not going to happen. Interest-only mortgage runs out in about 7 or 8 years time, but we're going to do this early. We're going to clear it off and just live some life. I kind of figured that being at 55 next year, you start to get old. What about 75? Hopefully I'll stay fit and healthy. I am exercising regularly. I'm very active. I'm not on any prescription medication. I don't have any health conditions. A couple of little niggles, but nothing major. I'm not on any drugs to prevent any illness getting worse or anything like that at all. Neither of us are. And my wife's very fit, strong runner, runs every several times a week. So hopefully we'll stay fit into our 70s and maybe even in our 80s. But we figured that there's so much of life that we haven't lived yet and that we want to do, that we'll not only have the money to do that, we'll have the freedom, because I won't be tied to work, because I'll be able to take some drawdown from my pension, put it in the bank, cover some bills, hopefully have a much lower outgoings as well, is the idea. Keep our bills to less than £1,000 a month, which I think we can probably do. I know we'll have servicing of the vehicle and the caravan and stuff like that as well, but we'll take it all into account. Hopefully keep our outgoings to less than £1,000 a month, and then decide what we want to do. But we're going to travel the country and just live a nomadic lifestyle for maybe up to a year, and then see how we go from there. So I also panicked when Trump started with all his tariffs and all the markets started dropping. I'd been investing really, really well with a lot of my investments, and I panicked and did the stupidest thing, which I would always advise against, and I went against my own advice and my own instincts, and I cashed in a load of my investments really stupidly. So I've missed out on the regain, where he's changed some of the deals, and anyway, the American stock markets, which I was heavily invested in, have bounced back up, and so I've missed out on that growth. However, I have been investing subsequently a little bit each day, by putting in what they call sort of pound averaging. So I've just been putting them back into the market each day, certain amounts, which I'll do another video on exactly how I've done that. But I've made over £2,000 in the last month by doing that. So the stock markets do work when you're doing them right. But I won't make a silly emotional decision, hopefully, like that again. But anyway, more to come in further videos. This is just to really give you an update. I will be doing some more recording down on the boat, but I'm prepping the boat for selling it, so that we can give us a bit of money in the bank to tide us over until next year when we make the big move. But anyway, if you are watching this, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.